Am I
Yes, you
audible?
are.
Okay. Right.
Yes, you're audible enough. Yeah. So we are live now. Just give me a moment. All right. Good evening, everybody. Just give me a moment. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm super excited to be here this evening. It's yet another session. I know for I think was it June or I think it was June or July that we started this Q&A session in order to help our community members thrive, grow, and succeed in their various field of study. Right, because I know that we recently just launched a partnership with IT Experience, and through that partnership, we now have a large community members taking different courses in tech areas, courses like project management, data analytics, UI UX, cybersecurity, IT support, IT automation with Python, digital marketing and e-commerce. And so we decided to start this virtual Q&A session for our community members so that they can learn from experts, they can hear from people who are already trading on this path so that they can become better in their various career. And I know that last month we did for data analytics and project management. And for the month of August, it is yet another time to learn, to hear from another expert thriving in the path of UI UX. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on wherever you are joining us from. And I want to highly welcome you to today's exciting session on UI UX. I mean, I know that we have people from all over joining us. We have people who are at the basic level. Some persons are already at the intermediary level, and we have some persons that are already at the advanced level. So, whichever level that you are, I know that for sure that you would have something to learn from today's session. Yeah. So my name is Adiola, and I'll be the host for this session. And with me here is our facilitator, our wonderful facilitator, who is doing amazingly well in the design space. And it's no other person that Ayomide Ikomola. Thank you very much for joining us. So let me just let me just state this clearly before we dive right into the Q&A session. So whether you are just starting the UI UX journey or you are looking forward to taking your skills to the next level, you are in the right place. So today's session is all about learning from an expert, you know, asking that question you've always had in mind. Okay, how do I do it here? What do I do? How do I solve this? How do I become better? And all those yada 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 yada. So you are here to gain practical steps on how you can actually apply it. So we have an amazing facilitator, just like I mentioned earlier. His name is Ayomide Komola. He's a seasoned UI UX designer. You can also call him a product designer, right? Who has worked on several projects. He's worked with different organizations as well, and he will be sharing not just his experience, um, and it will not just only be sharing the theory part, right, but real world insights to help us grow, thrive, and succeed in the design space. So before I go further into asking questions, so I would like to read to us the bio of Mr. Ayomide Komola. So we need to know who he is, right? So that we know who our facilitator is before we start asking questions. So just give me a moment. I'm going to read this bio shortly. Um, okay. So who is Ayomide Ikomola? Ayomide Komola is a talented UI UX designer based in Nigeria, West Africa, with a passion for driving startup growth through user-centered product design, specializing in SaaS, EdTech, and FinTech sectors. Ayomide crafts simple, intuitive digital experiences that delivers measurable impact, including a 3 times increase in user retention through smart interface design. Known for blending strategic insight with creative execution, it focuses on designing scalable, elegant solutions that meet global user needs. Iomide's expertise lies in transforming complex challenges into seamless user-friendly interactions, helping early-stage startups accelerate their growth while ensuring meaningful engagement. With a firm belief in innovation and usability, his work shapes digital products that resonate deeply with users and stand out in competitive market. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome Mr. Ayomide Ikomola. Sir, if you can hear me, please, we would like to hear from you and see your face.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Please, am I audible enough? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Like the host have said, okay, first of all, let me just use this medium to literally appreciate us for having me. I mean, it's been a while I did anything on webinar deliberately, right? Of course, people reach out to me and I'm like, I don't have this time. I mean, if it's literally one-on-one conversation, yes, I can reply to DMs and whatnot. But coming on live, trying to speak to a number of persons is not really what I derive pleasure to especially when it comes to tech generally. All right, but so it's an honor being here this evening, and I really want to appreciate the Beyond Class team and my host, especially Ms. Adiola Atonda. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Ayinde Pomolan. As she has read in the pyramid, UX designer. I don't call myself senior, of course. I think I have about 6 years. Yes, why I don't call myself senior is because titles are just what anybody can have. I mean, the proof of your title should be the work you show. Yes, I've been on team where people attribute to me the title senior, but I don't see myself as a senior because there's much more. I mean, regardless of the number of results or the level of results I'm putting at the moment, but I'm just a year designer like you. And although my focus is more on startup, I work more with startup, trying to help them build from the ground and see how they can literally
Wow.
scale. And
Mhm.
so it's basically I design more on MVPs and I design scalable products too, but the focus is more on MVP and how they can literally scale through the market. So I think that would be all for now. I don't know if there's any other thing I'm supposed to share.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Yomide. It was really nice hearing from you. So, people, so without further delay, we'll just get started and we'll dive into some key questions that we've gotten from our community members. And if you're also joining us live, I would like to know where you're tuning in from. I would like to know where you're joining us from. So you can drop in the comment section your name and your location. And should in case you have a question to ask, please kindly drop them in the comment section and I would ensure to answer them. All right. So we'll be diving into some few questions to help you navigate the world of UI UX, from getting your first gig to building designs that users would love. So just like I said, remember this is a Q&A session. Do not forget to drop your question in the comment section and would do well to get them answered. So Mr. Ayomide, the first thing I would like you to clarify is there a difference between user experience and UI UX, or are they the same thing?
Okay, user experience, that's UX, and UI UX, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
UI is user interface. All right. So the UI is more of structuring, what's it called now? Layout, arrangement, colors. Okay, let me just say it's more of beauty or beautifying something in quotes, like UI, user interface. But the experience is more deeper. I mean, this is where you do more of your planning, and most times you rest more on the research aspect. I mean, you do more of researching, do some competitor analysis, and do some user flow, and that's why before any interface, there are so many work behind it. Okay, think of it like this: an average stage, all right, you see lightning, you see so many stores, but at the backstage, there are so many wiring that has gone through
Things
before those.
going on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All of those wiring can look like the UX part. An average person who's come for a concert will not see that. The only thing the person is seeing
Yeah,
is that
sure.
beautiful stage, and so the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful stage the person sees like the UI. So this is literally the difference between UI and UX in the first place. But coming to talk of UX design and UI UX design. Well, what I've seen so far in this industry is the fact that there's UI design, there's UX design, there's UX, there's product design, and so on and so forth. But when, like your question now, UX, there are companies like Google. Most of us know Google now, the normal
Mm-hmm.
Google that
Mm-hmm.
develop Gemini and all these other products. Google literally calls most of their designers UX designers. So they only have few product designers, or I'm not sure you ever find anybody in Google with the title UI UX designer. All right, so it's more or less like the same thing. It's just like the use of words that literally differentiate it. But in the actual sense, UX design lean towards more of the research aspects, the what's it called, the planning aspect before you even start coming on tools. I mean, coming on to design on Figma and Sketch or Adobe XD. I'm not sure anybody does that anymore. Like, I mean, Adobe XD now. I'm just saying Figma and Sketch, and most people use Figma, right? So before you do any interface, you must have gone through the background, you must have studied through your competitors, you must have done your research, know what people want, know what they don't want, and that will literally propel you or give you an edge even before designing anything at all.
Okay, so the UX part is like the background work of the interface that we all see, like the
Definitely.
the work, the behind the scene work.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Yeah. Thank you. So let's dive into the questions that we have. So now let's talk about getting started in UI UX space. I mean, it's safe to call both together, right? UI UX, or we just stick
Yes.
to
Yes.
easy UX. Okay. So for someone that is just getting to start in the UI UX space, what's the best way to build the foundational skills, the foundational knowledge, and what's that best way to gain hands-on experience, especially without any formal design background? So like me now that I don't have any design background, what's like the best way to have that foundational skills when I'm trying to dive into the UI UX design space? Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just be factual. I may not be in the best position to answer this question because I actually had a design background. But I'll just say from experience
Oh,
because
okay.
at least I've been able to facilitate a number of students like in the past 3 4 years. I started design like 2019, like that was about 6 years ago. And yeah, yes, design. I was a graphic designer. I was specializing in environmental design before I literally transitioned to UI design. But here's what I've come to understand for every beginner. An average beginner used to be a self-taught designer. And sometimes when you are self-taught, you have a number of bias that you lean towards. For instance, if you are self-taught, you want to do what you see other designers doing. I mean, you want to post your work. You want to show people that you can use the tools. So when you are self-taught, you focus more on using the tools, crafting out good designs. All of those stuff are good, very awesome. But if care is not taken, you won't last in the industry. Why I say this is because it's not just about designing your interfaces. The reasons behind all of your designs really matters as a UI designer. So how can a beginner who is trying to transition or who is just starting out, how can they learn without any formal design background, this is what you should do. I will advise this. Thank God for places like, or what's it called, platforms like Beyond Class. At least enroll in any design, what's it called, any UI design training. And
Courses.
I, of course, exactly. I believe that there is no course that will not take you through the basics that you need to know, first of all. Then number two, do not rush. It's okay to be fast, though, but don't, because I've seen people who want to keep the UX part, which is the basic fundamental that everybody should know. To designing on Figma, everybody wants to show that I'm doing something. But the best thing is learn the basics first, see how this thing even works. Like see what it means to be a UI designer. Don't just say you want to be no, know why you want to be one. Then the moment you learn the basics, okay, let me just recommend one. Apart from probably boot camps and whatnot, there are other free courses you can take. If you go on Google, on sorry, YouTube, and search for Google UX design certification or Google UX design course rather, you can easily get this Google UX design course that is on Coursera. Yes, they've updated the one on Coursera recently. They've added AI features and whatnot. But the one you get on YouTube will definitely teach everything you need to, or let me say, more than 80% of what you need to know about UX design. The Google free course on um, YouTube. Then you can also use or maximize platforms like Class Central. Class Central will definitely give you access to so many online courses. You can filter, get some free courses on design and any other field literally, but you are leaning towards design now. So I feel with this background, believe me, you are good to go. Then try as much as possible to have a community of learners, somebody you can be accountable to, because
Yeah,
really
true.
easy. It's okay to say I want to learn something. It's okay to start. In fact, the drive will be there. But in the long run, if you are not careful, you just say, let me just leave it. I know
You'll
the number
be
of people that
exactly. You'll be
in
tired
course.
along the line.
So try to learn to learn with
Yeah.
it. That's why platforms like Beyond Class and others are helping people grow. So just maximize them, and before you know what's happening, in a couple of months, they'll be building and shipping as well.
Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful response. So, the next question we'll be going to now is, what are the key elements you believe that every strong UI UX portfolio should have, and then how can a beginner showcase their skills even if they have not worked on any client project yet?
Okay, thank you. First of all, portfolios are like, let me just explain, they're like online stores, where you put
Mm,
your works, what you've done prior to that time, where you want people
mhm,
to say, this is how good I am, in quotes. So the first thing an average senior designer will tell you is that make sure that your portfolio is as presentable as your work. Now,
mhm,
and I'm speaking from a point of experience. I think a couple of months ago, I recruited designers for a friend's agency, a startup as well. And I was seeing what some designers were doing, and I was just smiling that I just hope these people will get a job in the industry. I mean, because the
mm,
thing is this, anybody can design anything. When it comes to
mm.
your portfolio, anybody can design it. In fact, even if you go on Dribble today, you can go and crop a design out. If you are smart, you can screenshot somebody else's design, go and put it there as design. I'm just letting you know, this is
Yeah.
Nigeria. Most of the audience
Mm-hmm.
will be and whatnot. So I'm just trying to let you know that anybody can design anything and post anything on their portfolio and say, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is
They
what I've
did
done.
it. Mm.
But the issue is an average recruiter, hiring manager, or a senior designer will look much more than visuals. They want to see your user experience part, all of the research process. How did you come about your solution? What were you trying to solve? And what were the results? If it was actually a live product that it has been launched or shipped. So they want to see what effect did the product have on the market, how were you able to generate all of these things, so on and so forth. So much more than UI. Yes, they want to see your design process. How did you achieve this result? What did you do? Did you do any research? Was it qualitative? Was it quantitative? How did you go about it? Who were the competitors? Then after launch, in fact, most times they even want to say, how did you collaborate in a cross-functional team? I mean, with other people like
Other
engineers,
people.
product
Mm-hmm.
managers,
Mm-hmm.
marketers, and so on and so forth. Because meanwhile, portfolio, and let me quickly shift this when it comes to portfolio building. When you're trying to build your portfolio, never limit yourself to Dribble and Behance. I know a lot of people, designers do this, and I'm just telling you a secret I use when I want to screen out candidates. So when designers apply and I'm trying to, like I said a few months ago, I was trying to just sort out people. The first thing I looked at was how many people are using something outside of the conventional dribble and Behance. Because I used to say it, an average designer or senior designer expect that you think outside of the box. So they expect you to, as you are learning design, they, when you are trying to present your work, they expect you to do much more than an average person, an average designer would do. For instance, trying to use platforms like a web design tools like Framer or what's it called, Webflow now. Yes, we definitely single you out. And the truth is, all of these things, you may not even need to build from scratch. There are templates for Framer now. There are templates on their marketplace that you can just
that you can
maximize.
work with. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Edit some of the things, change the pictures, change the text. Before you know what's happening, you have a portfolio. If I most times when you use platforms like Framer and Webflow, they see you more than a beginner. For you, I'm just telling you for free. They feel like before you can learn design, then you are still using a web design tool. Of course, you'll be an addition to an average team. Compared to another person who is just depending on Dribble or maybe Behance. I'm not saying Dribble and Behance can't work too. I'm just saying you have an edge when you use Framer and Webflow.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. That's very spot on. That's very spot on. So let's talk about the design process now, because I mean, part of the things you've been saying, there has to be a process to this thing. We don't just have the interface. There is a process to having or bringing this interface to life. So I don't know if you could just walk us through your design or a typical design process from the research stage to the final stage, and then what really constitutes a good design system. How is it being actualized in the real sense?
Thank you so much. So for the what's it called now? For the what's it called? Design process, yes. For design
Mhm.
process now, let me quickly say this that in anything you are trying to do, try as much as possible to understand what's it called now, what you are trying to design.
The
And that's why
desired results.
exactly. You are trying to know what I might build in. Okay, for instance, am I trying to build something related to Uber? Am I trying to build a transportation tech product? Am I trying to build an air tech product and so on and so forth? So and that's what people will call it the discovery and research part of your design process. So you need to know what you are trying to do because when you don't know the problem you are trying to solve, of course, you won't really have a particular solution. So the goal
Yeah.
is not just I want to design something. Okay, let me jump on Figma. No, now like you will not come out with what you're supposed to come out with. So the
Yes.
first thing is what am I trying to give solution to? And that's where maybe problem comes in. All right. So this is where you talk to the person, and let me just quickly say this: it might be a stakeholder, it might be a client, and it might even be your own boss. And that's why I said it like that. So now, when you do something like trying to meet these people, you have to talk to them. You have to understand their business goals. You need to know what they are trying to solve, of course. You need to know their constraints, and you need to also know what we call metrics, process metrics. Yes. What, how will this product look like in success? So is it until we have a number of users using it, is that where the product becomes successful? Or until it generates probably $1 billion before we can say, okay, we already succeeded in this product. Then after trying to do all of those interviews, then boom, you go to your research. And I used to say that you see all of these surveys, interviews, and so on and so forth. Presently, if you are trying to reach a wider range, you will not really have the time for interviews. For instance, an average person can be in Lagos and working for companies in Nairobi, working for companies in UK.
Mm.
There's no way you
Mm-hmm.
will have the time to be doing interview and most times,
Yeah.
yes, we still
Yeah.
have some time to let me just balance it that we do interview by online the way we are now. We can be having
Mm-hmm.
conversations. Yes, we can do interviews in that way, but it might come with its own biases as well. And that's why you notice that most people just send out surveys, Google Forms, Skype Forms, and so on and so forth. And before you know what's happening, you get what's it called? A number of users or a number of persons to actually fill in through your forms. And then when you're done with your user research, then you can go to your competitive analysis. Okay, let me just quickly say this that competitive analysis, anytime you think of competitive analysis, just think of competition. For instance, if you are trying to build something like let's say you are trying to build something that's with transportation. regardless of where you are. There's a probability that you must study Uber and Bolt, at least those two,
Mm-hmm.
especially in West Africa now, Nigeria to be
Yeah.
precise. Study Uber and Bolt. Why do people really use Uber? Or why do people really use Bolt? And from your analysis, you discover that people use one more than the other.
More than the other. True.
Exactly.
True.
So this is where you do something like SWOT analysis. You know now, strengths, weakness,
Yeah.
opportunities, and threats. This
Mm-hmm.
is competitive analysis. This is still like the first phase. Of, you are seeing now that you've never started talking about
Yeah.
human.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just how it is. So when you are done with your competitive analysis, then you now do something like problem definition where you try to translate all of the findings. You get what I'm saying? All of those research, what you had from stakeholders or clients or your boss, the competitive analysis, you now translate them into what we call a problem statement. Yes, because I will tell you is a clear problem statement. Then when you are done, and why you do this is because you can literally design in the dark when you don't really know the problem you are really trying to solve.
Exactly.
Or when you
Exactly.
don't know what people in the industry have been doing that has been working. Because
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, you don't think for the user, you don't do that. The moment you do that, you do that in so many biases and you end up designing something that probably is just you and your fellow people that will use. Sorry for right? So the
Yeah.
second phase, the first phase is like discovery and research. The second phase, let me just wrap. The second phase is like ideation and what we call information architecture. This is where you have your user personas, you have your user journeys. Okay, what's user journey? User journey is where you try to visualize how a user starts using a particular product to the end process. Right? So then the user flow as well is like trying to map out different ways a user can achieve something. WhatsApp, for an instance, if you are you can chat with people by searching on your contact list, right, on WhatsApp. Then
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you can also chat with people from viewing their status. I hope you know.
Yeah.
So these are
True.
two different flows, but it's still leading to the chat. So this is an
To the same
example.
thing.
Exactly. This is an example of what's it called now? User flow. Then there's sitemap, and some people also call it. Some people also attach, I think, context strategy to it. And this is where how you organize your information for easy navigation. You get what I'm saying? So this is like
Mm-hmm.
the top part of or let me say the second part of the overall design process. You know, the first part I talk about discovery and
Discovery. Mm-hmm.
second one is now like ideation. Then the third part is where a bit of design comes in now. Yes, a bit of design comes in, and this is like wireframing and prototyping. You know, sometimes people will say, "What's different?" Do the difference first. Do the work. I mean, so now wireframing is like when you are trying to do structuring, think of architects. Yes, let me use this as an example. Think of architects. When you meet an architect, that I'm trying to build a house, a space, an apartment, a hub, or whatnot. So the person will, an average architect, I'm very sure we ask questions, quite similar to designers. Then they will do a rough sketch. Am I correct? They will do a rough sketch and tell you that okay, this is where the toilet or restroom would be, this is where the main room or
True.
office space will
True.
be. They will map all of these like your wireframe. And I tell people that it's not compulsory you do a polished low fidelity wireframe. You can do sketch. Like I'm not literally with my God. I've shown us sketches that I always have. With every product
So
we have
I
sketch.
so sorry to cut. So are you saying that you guys also do a bit of architectural work and all that? Mhm.
No, the aspect I explained earlier, I said information architecture. Yes, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to let you know that. That's
Mm-hmm.
for information, but I feel maybe we should even call the wireframe part of of design architecture now. Because you have to sketch out. No, for real. If you are trying to design WhatsApp
True.
now, don't just jump to
True.
conclusion. You have to
Of
design
course.
or let me say sketch out
Mm-hmm.
all of the parts you need to still design
Mm-hmm.
on the what's it called on the tool now. You have to sketch it out first so that I know what where is leading to where first, so that I don't just
Where
start.
exactly?
I'm stuck. Why can't I continue all of this? So that's like the wireframing part. Then the prototyping part can also be where you literally use brand colors, trying to just sorry, I said prototyping. I'm not going to talk about prototyping yet. I'm going to talk about high fidelity. So there's low fidelity wireframe like normal sketch. There's mid fidelity where you have some few informations and few stuffs. Then there's high fidelity prototypes. That's what we know as interface or the UI part. So this
The
is
UI
done.
part.
This is where you are the main color. When you are trying to sketch, you cannot be saying this place will be blue. It will waste your time. You just sketch. But it is when you get to high fidelity prototypes that you now start adding colors,
The colors.
adding structures, layout, and so on and so forth. Your icon or iconography, so to speak, text, making sure they are in their major hierarchies, and all of this part of the high fidelity part. Then I was going to explain prototyping is all of those micro interactions. So what are micro interactions? For instance, when somebody posts status on WhatsApp, are we together please? When somebody posts
Yeah.
status on WhatsApp, when you react, when you just put love or react to something, there's a way it would fade over. Not these are micro interactions, right? So these are the prototyping part of your design. Then the next part
Design.
that only very few persons do, and I will say it and all of these things, is usability testing. Now the thing is, for everything you are designing, people are supposed to test it as soon as they can, and then you get feedback.
Feedback. Mm-hmm.
Then the feedback when you get will literally determine what you are adding and what you are
Yeah.
subtracting.
What you are
What
subtracting.
Alright,
Mm-hmm.
then there's what we call A and B testing. Some people call it A/B testing. Some people call it A/B testing because it's written as A/B actually, but it's just A and B testing. Anyone is okay. That's when you validate multiple designs and see which one that literally work in real world applications. You get. So then the last part that we always say is your main visual design. Now I noticed that when I talked about high fidelity wireframes or high fidelity prototypes, this is where you add colors. But after that, you still
Mm-hmm.
have to do usability testing. You remember I mentioned that. So
Yeah.
after you do your usability testing, is when you now do your final interface. So it is after this final interface that you, before you even start your final interface, you would have done all of your design system integration, and why you use design system is two majorly, or let me say one. Yes, it's two actually. To ensure consistency across all your components or everything you are working with on that product, and also to be able to communicate well without speaking to developers and engineers. So
Mm-hmm.
this is very important. So visual design and developer handoff. You see, this developer handoff is not really easy, and I will always say it because especially when you're you will definitely learn design and off to developers by doing it. Yes, although an average senior will teach you, but you don't really know how it works until you work with an engineer or development team. Then that's when you now understand how collaboration really works in the right way. Then after that, you
Mm.
can now start doing all of this post-launch review and QA and QA testing now. You get so and all of these, you check for the fidelity, the performance. You also get feedback, and that's why I noticed that this part is very important. I mean, this part of what's it called now? This part of QA and all of these things. They are very important because you notice an average mobile application will always tell you to update. Yes, these are how they got those updates. Feedback they got from existing users,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
testers, testing, they know what is supposed to be on the app and those things that they're supposed to update and remove. So this is like the average design process. I know it's
Design
long,
process.
so it's more than 50 and
Wow.
written
Wow.
to be.
So all the stages actually they are what constitute or makes up a very good design system. Because I
Okay,
mean all
design
this
system.
oh,
I did talk about
okay,
design
go on,
system.
go on, go on, go on.
Okay, design system is more, what's it called now? It's more on advanced level. And that's why I say that for beginners, maybe they should understand style guide more. Okay, style guide is just like a mini design system. Yes, and why I would say this is because when I struggled with design system for a long while. In fact, I think my first 18 months in the industry, I struggle
Mm-hmm.
with design system because it's just too cumbersome. I mean, it's a lot,
Wow.
and there are things I don't even understand. Then I didn't really understand, and I was like, I'll just say, oh, why are we stressed? Let's just design. I transitioned from graphic design, so I just felt
Mm-hmm.
like let's
Mm-hmm.
just design. Until I realized that it's not just about designing; it goes beyond
Mm.
designing. So design
Yeah.
system is like a kind of. system that you build, a kind of structure that you build for your design. That as a designer, you may not even need to explain any other thing to engineers and PMs. PMs are product managers. Engineers now
Yeah.
are developers, both front end, back end, and full stacks, of course. So, but when it comes to style guide, you can have stuff like the your typography. Yes, let me just start with typography. Typography can consist of, okay, probably you use a particular typeface or what most of us call font. It's more is typeface actually, not font.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
can use it interchangeably, it's understandable. Yes. So
Okay.
have something like probably you're using a typeface like Roboto, you're using something like Inter. Figma will definitely give you Inter as default. So you can now constitute them. You It's as though you are storing them up. Think of it like you are cooking. You know, when you are trying
Mm-hmm.
to cook rice, an average guy now, if you are a bachelor, you are trying to just cook things
Mm-hmm.
up. Nonsense most times, just when you don't know how to cook. But even as a bachelor that you are trying to cook, you cannot say, okay, after putting rice on your fire or whatnot, you now go to market to buy salt. You go back to buy Maggi when you need red oil or exactly. That's what design system does. The same way you arrange all of these things, they are always there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's them like that. They're always there. So you just pick them. So you don't need to start stressing of, okay, how can I get this next? To which side should I use for this? Should I also use no? Once you set up a proper style guide or your proper design system now, then you just try to select this. Okay, this is what I'm using. You are not trying to find it and see if it will work or not. You already have it there. It's just like a storehouse of all the components and everything you'll be using for a particular product. So that's like what design system is.
Design system. Wow, it's really a whole lot. Honestly, it's really a whole lot. So now this will take me now to the next thing, which is mistakes to avoid. I mean, you have mentioned a whole lot of processes on what constitutes a good design process and the design system and all that. So what are the common mistakes that upcoming UI UX designers make, and how can they actually like avoid them so they can have a desirable end result?
Okay, I think one of the major mistake an average designer will always make is competition. I'll just be factual. Competition. Competition in what sense? You know, an average UI designer will see stuff on X, Twitter now, you see stuff on LinkedIn, you see stuff on Dribble. And the next thing that is coming to your head is, I also want to do something like, I also want to, you get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I tell people that we don't just have the same journey. All of us, we have different. For instance, if I'm posting on LinkedIn today and you are seeing it as a beginner, that's like 6 years of experience.
Of
I mean, you are just
experience.
exactly. You
Mm.
want to post because you have seen me posting. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So that's one of
Yeah,
the
I
first.
get.
I'm not saying you should
Mm.
become perfect, but another person's post should not prepare you to do the same or want to beat that person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, you should learn at your own pace and build at your own
Mm-hmm.
pace. Yes, and I used to say that another thing is, please do not build alone, do not design alone. Try as much as
Mm.
possible to get a mentor. It will literally help your design
Really go
career.
a long way. Mm-hmm.
Telling you, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
mentorship will literally help your design career. It will, in fact, it will fast track. What's it called now? It will literally fast track your design growth because mentors can. It's not really easy to get mentors. I'll just tell you the truth because there's
Yeah,
people in my come and I just tell them I don't have the time because if I have the time, you won't be serious enough. So
true.
mentorship is you saying somebody should only help you to refine your work. What can you add? No, a mentor will definitely drill you to the extent that even you want to run away. You feel like the design I want to make, I'm not saying I want to kill myself. The mentor can play you on a particular design strict challenge that okay, in the next 30 days, you design a resolution almost every day. It's not really easy because you have to go through all of those design process. That's what I'm saying.
Processes.
That's why I tell
Mm-hmm.
people that learn design is not easy. It's not really easy because what you see is interfaces, but there's more beyond interfaces.
The back end, you don't get to see it.
Exactly. So that's like the second mistake. Then the third mistake is expecting ROI, return on investment, very. I can no. No, these are things
Ah,
I we don't talk about, but I can easily share it with
that
I
that
mean
one is even that one is everywhere. ROI on
Exactly.
time. Everybody wants ROI on time now.
I know someone wants to learn design today and start earning $2,000 next month or ending of this
Mm.
month. It will not always work like that. Okay, something happened. One of the tech startup I work for in this particular city I am currently got a grant from World Bank last year, and they were to train about 500 youths. So I was the lead UI design facilitator, and we train people and whatnot. But I always mentioned it to them that all of you will not get job at the same time.
At the
I
same
said,
time.
somebody, guess what happened at the end of the training? I know about 3 to 5 persons that got job, not internship, oh, job
Real job.
immediately after their training. Yes, immediately after their
Wow.
training, they got job. One got two remote role. I mean, although it was a graphic designer before it transitioned, of course, but at
Mm-hmm.
least it's not yet about graphic design. This is UI UX. So he got
Yeah.
two remote role. That one was internship, the other one was job, and he was doing the two and trying to just manage. Then two other persons got full time role. Another person got an internship, and that was it. Then a whole lot of them didn't get job after 2 months. Some got
Wow.
job after 2 months, and they are till now. There are people that did not that really have
That
job.
has not even gotten the job.
Just trying to let you know. So it's not as bound to say all of them got job. No. So
Yeah.
this is how it works. So if 10 persons are learning design from the same facilitator, two may end up getting a job. And for the next 2 years, four may not even get anything. Because it also
Mm-hmm.
depends on the number of hours they are putting into practice,
Into the
depend on the
yes, yes, true.
how they are showing up online. And that's what we also look into. As much as you are not expecting ROI as immediate as it should come,
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible to continually show up online. Please be consistent. Post on LinkedIn post, post on X if you can, post on Dribble. Now that you're just starting up, you may not have the ability to develop a portfolio, but anything you are designing, post online, let people know you are learning. Like learn with people, learn online, build online in quotes. So that the day you want to stop, you remember that there are people already waiting for me. And that's why you see people doing
Yeah.
30-day challenge, 40-day challenge, 60-day challenge of a particular track, probably development or design input. I'm just trying to like don't be shy. And I used to say people, forget, see, I used to use this as an example. If two persons are tailors, are fashion designers, and one, even though he's not as good as the other one, always say, I'm a tailor. Everywhere he goes to, I'm a tailor, I'm a tailor, I'm a tailor. The day he's tailor, they always remember the person that is always telling them that I'm a tailor. Even though the other person can sew, but so far they are not telling people. They may not know. They may not know that okay, this person is as good or is even doing that particular trade or profession. So please show up online and try to don't see. I will always say this: don't let your focus to be money. Money is good, and money will come if you do the right thing. For it, don't let the
Yeah.
focus be money. Please think of value first. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just trying to show that you can try as possible to work for free first. Yes, especially for
First.
international companies, please.
A lot
Once you
of
understand
internships. Yeah.
exactly volunteer roles, not just now
Mm-hmm.
volunteer roles inclusive. Try as much as possible to grow with them. You would have learnt a lot. Compare somebody who is saying, until you people pay me, I no dey do anything for you. No, do something like add value. And I used to say
Mm-hmm.
that people do this and it works. And most times, even when you say you want to volunteer, they will still tip you at the end of the month. Some $100, some 150, some $200. In
Some
this
pay
Nigeria
stipends. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're adding value, they definitely tip you. So these are, although the other, what's it called, now mistakes, but these are the major ones I feel that you guys should tackle, please. It will definitely help
Mm-hmm.
your design career, please.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Mm-hmm. That's very spot on. Thank you very much. This week I heard something and it really struck me. They said that money is a value magnet.
definitely.
Means if you don't chase money and you put in the work to be able to deliver the value, money definitely comes to you. Like you definitely attract that money that you are looking for. So I think value first before money. So it's very, very important that we are not, but it's just very sad for our generations that we want money first. So that aside, thank you very much. So let's talk about the tools and the trend, right? So I mean, there are so many tools and trends, popping everywhere. So how should designers choose what to learn and what to ignore? I,
Okay.
I I don't know if you get that
First
question.
of all, First, thank you. Yeah, I actually got it. When you have a mentor, like I said earlier, your
Mm-hmm.
what's it called? It will be much faster. For instance, like I was a self-taught UI designer in Kuwait, although I did internship, something came up, I had to become a self-taught UI designer. All right, but if there's not teaching, you would waste your time learning what you will never need in the industry. I'm just telling you for free.
Mm.
For instance, who is trying to learn design now, who is just trying to go and learn Adobe SD? Of course, maybe you just saw a Udemy video, and Udemy videos can be funny sometimes. Sorry about that, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
somebody that did a video maybe 7 years ago, and you went to get the course, and you're calling yourself a UI designer. You just feel like something is off with your own design compared to other people's design. So please, number one, as much as possible to get a mentor that can show you the way. And another thing is you cannot learn everything at this moment. Yes, especially when you are just
Yeah.
starting. But with the rise of AI, oh God, don't even try it because you get worn out.
You'll be
I'm just
overwhelmed. You'll be
the number,
overwhelmed.
the
Mm-hmm.
major tool you should focus on when it comes to interface design now. Figma, please learn Figma. That's the go-to tool for any UI design opening. If you like, you can learn other tools like Sketch. But I used to tell people that if you understand how Figma works, then you know how to use Sketch. And it's not just Sketch and Figma alone. Most UI design tools are very similar. Even when Adobe XD was in vogue about 6, 7 years ago, the interfaces are very related. Like very, in fact, you may not need. For instance, I did not learn Figma for a week. I was using Adobe XD, and a project came up, and I needed to use Figma for that project because we are transitioning to that tool for that particular startup. Then I just opened Figma. I was like, this thing use data. I never upload to the use my internet. So I just started using Figma that week and I delivered. I mean, so I didn't have to learn it for 2 days. Because interfaces are very similar. Although now Figma has updated, added so many features like auto layout. Then there was only like auto layout on Figma now. Like auto layout, all of these, the way the component works, Figma AI, Figma Make, and their recent update and all of these things. But I'm just trying to let you know that when it comes to tools, please stick to Figma when it comes to UI design. But when it comes to UX, there are so many tools that you can use that personally I lost count. Even the way I was speaking with you guys, like there's so many
Mm-hmm.
designs. Yeah, you have different tools for your user research, you have different tools for something like okay, let me give you an AI tool you can easily use to generate ideas. There's a tool, let me quickly remember the name now. Um I've forgotten again. There's an AI tool you can easily use. I just hope I remember before we wrap up. Okay, Relum. RELUNE Yes, you can use it to generate ideas, layout ideas, and whatnot. So these are tools that you can easily use. It's an AI tool. And there are so many other AI tools, like all of those UX pilots, Maze, and so on and so forth. So all of these tools are tools you can literally use. But when it comes to trend, not every trend will stay. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
learning learn how the UI design or the design industry really works when it comes to
Really
delivery.
works.
Trend
Mm.
will come and go for real. Like
Sure.
I don't let me quickly ask, do you remember glass morphism? Those of us that were designers before. When was the last time you see glass morphism? If not for what's it called? Apple. They are trying to implement it back to their UI now. So trends will come and go.
And they will go.
But
Mm.
when you know the fundamentals, the major things that makes up a good UI what's it called, design, or let's say a good product, then you are good to go. You can easily learn anything on the go now. Like you pick it up, you learn it, and that's all. You always learn, no, but you cannot learn everything. That's just the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
True. True.
Thank you.
True. Thank you very much. Thank you. So we are almost wrapping up with our question. So now let's talk about collaboration, because I know that there is really nothing you want to do in the tech space now that you literally don't need to collaborate with other techies, like other persons as well. So for UI UX designer, I'm familiar. I know that a designer would have to collaborate with what is it called now?
Just manage
Um,
right? And
Yes,
developers.
product manager, the web developer, the all of those terminologies and all. So how can new designers actually communicate and collaborate effectively with non-designers to achieve a particular end goal, or to achieve a desirable end result?
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me just come in this way that one of the major let me disadvantage an average designer has is the fact that if you can design and you cannot communicate is a big red flag. And why I say this is because for an
Mm.
average designer, every design decision should have, every design you make should have a decision behind it. There should have a
Mm-hmm.
reason, yes, behind it. There should be a reason behind every decision you make. There should be a reason why you are using red for a fintech application. I'm just trying to let you know because an average fintech application will not use red. But if you are trying to use red, you must tell us why you. So you must tell us why are you using red. I'm just trying to use that as
Mm-hmm.
example, right? So when it comes to communication with non-designers like PMs, products, what's it called, product marketers, sales team, engineers now, there's front end, back end, full stack, mobile developers or mobile engineers, and so on and so forth. So engineers are wide, but most of us just call all of them developers. All right. Then stakeholders too. You must have
Mm.
a reason behind everything. That's just the truth. So if you can explain to people that okay, I'm using this picture because I noticed that an average fintech needs to lean or needs to put trust first. Then they see reason. Don't just say I'm using this feature because an average fintech use it. No, like they feel like you don't know what you are doing, and that's why you really need to
Yeah.
understand people experts so that it's not just about your product looking good. Yes, please learn Figma very well. Yes, but it goes beyond that. So much more than the beauty part of your, the aesthetic part of your design, let the process be well, what's it called, communicated. Let people know the reason behind all of these um, decisions. So I think that's that about that. Another thing I also want to add is when you finish training and you get a job, or even before you finish your training, you get a job, and depending on the company size, for instance, you can't expect to thrive the same way you thrive in big companies or FANG companies, Facebook, Amazon,
Mm.
Apple, Netflix, and Google. No, those companies have big design teams, and there are some other companies
Yeah.
like have bigger design teams, like maybe, for instance, one of the tech startup I work with had like three different UI designers, and there are some other things that have up to 10, especially at international level, they have up to 10. And some more than 10. Then there's another one that I'm just a solo designer. Like I'm the only UI designer there. So the way I
Wow.
work in this, what's it called, in these companies differs. So the way I work as a solo
Different.
designer is different. I'll be the one to take, what's it called, to attend stakeholders meetings, products meetings, and all of these things. But when it comes to bigger companies, for example, Polish company I work with, I'm not sure if I ever attended any general meeting. If I have attended meeting with
Yeah. True.
who am I? Let me just retire. Give me my money. Let me retire. Let me do what I can. Do. But the truth is, like communication, yes. And I always
Mm.
advise try as much as possible to volunteer. Work within a team. See how you communicate. Like you
Mm-hmm.
get
Mm-hmm.
feedbacks and it will help you by the time you are
Yeah.
even trying to apply for something bigger or something better. So this is how communication is for every design. Let there be a reason behind it. And don't just speak design language. Yes, this is where most of us get it wrong as designer. Don't just
Big,
say
big terminologies.
exactly. No, no, no. Learn business terminologies, especially when you deal with stakeholders directly. And when you deal with
Mm-hmm.
cross-functional team, learn
Mm.
products management terminologies. In fact, I advise learn product strategy. When you deal with developers, you may not need to know how to code. I know how to code. I once worked as a front end developer remotely with a startup then. But I'm just saying that learn the basic things, all of these HTML, hypertext markup language, cascade style sheets. Learn the basic things, all of these, what's it called now? Grid and flex, but just learn it. You can take few courses on YouTube. These are free resources. Just learn how it works so that when you are talking, you won't just be saying and
Mm.
you are using
Mm-hmm.
color layout
You won't be
and this
talking out of context.
exactly so that you just look as though anything outside of design you cannot communicate. No, learn other track, like have basic knowledge. It will help you and single you out as a UI designer. So thank you.
Yeah, that's very spot on. Thank you very much, sir. I think I would also like to say it's very important to learn the structure of the workplace environment that we find
Exactly.
ourselves, so that it would also help us to know how to communicate better. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, another question from one of our community member is based on user-centered design. So the person is asking, what are some practical ways to ensure your designs truly meet users' needs rather than just looking visually appealing?
Okay, I think I made mention of that earlier. That's where your research comes in. So, for instance, the same way you would build for an average African man is not the same way you build for an average person from Europe or from an average for an average white man. All right. So let me use this as a practical example. I don't know if some of us know that feature of when somebody is trying to place a call on you, probably when your phone is ringing, it tells you the name of person calling, it tells you the person's number if you've not saved that person's contact. I don't know if anybody has seen that feature before where a text message comes into your phone and
Mm-hmm.
your phone practically reads out all of those stuffs, the person that sent the message, where the message
Yeah,
is
yeah,
coming.
yeah. I think I've had that experience before personally.
Exactly. That kind of feature was not literally built for myself and you. That kind of feature was literally built for the blind.
Oh
And now
wow.
we are trying to connect it.
Ah,
Because
yeah,
an average
yeah.
person cannot see. So an average blind person needs to know who is calling.
Who's
An
calling?
average blind person needs to know the kind of message that is entering. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
someone sends
Mm-hmm.
you money. He wants to know if you credit alarm from
Mm-hmm.
GTBank. All of these
Mm-hmm.
things are actually user centered.
Mm.
And
It's like it's
in
like you are putting yourself in the shoes of the user.
exactly, and that's
Yeah.
more of like inclusive design and all of these parts, or yes, inclusive design. Yes. So now, when it comes to user centered design, your research is what you should never joke with, please. And that's why I say it's anything you are doing, please do your user research. It will literally help your design decisions. So you cannot really talk about user-centered design without talking about user research. Oh, please.
Research. That's like even the first stage, because I know you mentioned that when you were
Exactly.
talking about the design process.
That's
Yeah,
the first thing
yeah.
to do. You know you are designing for. Because in fact, let's even come to the UI that most of us want to hear. Do you know that in some cultures, they don't see colors the same way we see it in some other cultures?
Mm,
Yes, they don't.
mm,
For instance, if you are, for instance, maybe before the end of now, give you hint on how to easily get jobs and go. So probably you now get a job with probably a Chinese company or a Chinese solo founder. Solo founder means somebody who is building alone. You are now his designer. Maybe God help you from junior or beginner, you become founding designer.
yeah.
Ah, exactly. So now you are trying to use color the same way you feel an average black person relate with it. You are very wrong. Because
Mm-hmm,
red
mm-hmm.
may look like okay, may look to you like okay, danger, general design.
Yeah.
Other cultures might not be the same thing. So when you prioritize research and you understand some of these basic things, it will save you so many stress. So the goal is not just make the product fine. It goes beyond that. The goal is make it usable for who it's being designed for.
It's been
And that's
designed for.
the difference between users and end users. A user can be anybody using it, but an end user are the category of people that that product was actually designed
I
for.
actually need that thing.
Exactly.
Mm,
Like that
mm,
picture I just mentioned on the blind, the design, the feature that
mm-hmm,
was.
mm-hmm.
So we can use it. We are users, but the blind people are literally the end user of that particular feature.
Future
So this is where user-centered design comes
comes
in.
in.
Your research goes a long way. Do not
Mm.
joke with it, please. No matter
Don't
how
don't jump
serious,
the process.
please don't skip the process. Don't go
Yeah.
and decide something now without your research.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So, I mean, we're almost done. So, let's talk about feedback and growth. I know that a lot of creative people, designers, tech is actually, or people who build softwares and all that, and of course, UI UX. They get a lot of feedbacks, and I think you also mentioned this, that when you are done with the design process, you get feedback and all of that. So, how can designers actually handle maybe criticism now positively? How can they handle it positively and use it to improve their work? How do you think they can handle that? especially when it comes in a very hard way. Yeah.
Yes, let me just say this first that generally, um, it's not really common. Yes, it's so rare that you see people criticize, excuse me, or give a
Sorry.
very terrible feedback for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's rare. Compared to a senior or somebody who they feel is an authority. For instance, if somebody is just done made a mistake, the way they will drag that person in court now, let's say on X now, will be
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
somebody like me who claims to have 6 years of experience. And they'll feel like,
Yeah, true, true.
this your 6 years, was it in your mother's womb? Somebody can say you are better off as a carpenter.
Yeah,
People can be
yeah.
very fresh Nigerians, but this is what you should learn that as a beginner, people want to see you do more. And let me just start with them. People with that rather,
Mm.
people want to see you that you're actually doing it. And in some cases that some people even choose to give you terrible feedback, one thing you should know is you are not doing design for them. And that's what I used to tell people. If somebody's criticism or feedback is making you stop something, it means that you did not even believe in yourself doing it the right way in the first place. So somebody's feedback should not be the reason why you are feeling bad. Yeah, sometimes it's okay for you to feel like, did I offend this person before? Maybe I just shared my own design. But
Yeah, I
don't
guess.
take it as if that person's feedback should not stop you. A lady shared something on LinkedIn recently about how she designed something, and people were criticizing her for that design. Guess what happened? A particular person messaged her through that design, and they got to work together. Another person saw the design, and that's why I say that when you
Wow.
post designs, let me just say this: people don't really say it this way. When you post designs, it is literally designers that give feedback more. Am I correct? Designers like yourself
Mm.
that are doing it.
True, true, true.
An average founder, an average developer does not even know some of these things. You might just feel like, wow, I like this color. Color can even attract somebody and say, I just like this color is
Yeah.
used. The person you can even get a client through it, like the story of lady I just shared with you guys. So it's not because of another designer. We are not doing it because of another designer. So and that's why I say get a mentor, because if you have a mentor, most of your
Mm-hmm.
feedback will come from the mentor, not
Yeah,
from the public space.
yeah.
So if you are
Mm-hmm.
getting it from public space, your mentor will know how to calm you down. That don't mind these people. That's how they do.
True,
Because
true.
design ecosystem is toxic in codes. An average designer see another designer as a threat. Like feel like he's doing more than me. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Mm.
So that kind
Yeah,
of
I
people
do.
behind some feedbacks. But
Mm.
just know that every feedback is important. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you don't get feedbacks from just designers. In fact, when you start working with people, you get feedback from, when I meet people now, structured companies now, you get feedback more from product managers, and that one can be more deadly than the one you get from designers. I'm just That's how I believe you can handle feedback. Have the mindset that you are not designing for another person and you are learning
Mm-hmm.
at your own,
Mm-hmm.
especially as beginners
Mm-hmm.
now. And please get a
Yeah.
mentor. Most of your feedback will first of all come from your mentor, and learn how to
Mentor.
accommodate. You are not fighting no, because this is your career. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
I've
That
seen
mindset
stories.
is very important. We are not fighting.
Learn how to accommodate, like you
Yeah,
say,
true.
no man, just see it as shebi na me carry myself come learn design. I'm no dey learn design for now. So just have that
Yeah.
mindset to accommodate things. People will say things, but that should not stop you from showing up online and posting your.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've really learned a lot, honestly. So now, I mean, speaking from for someone who has 6 years of experience, so let's talk about the career growth aspect. So for someone who wants to transform from a junior level or entry level roles to mid level or senior roles, what are the specific skills or mindset they need to have
Need to
to
have right.
transition into these mid-level roles or senior level roles? I mean, I
Let me
believe
just say
you are an
that.
actor already.
Maybe, but let me just say this: that one of the major reasons that will make people start taking you serious as a designer is your ability to provide solutions so fast. Yes, that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
major. Because, for instance, if you are trying to build MVP from my own startup, what's it called, niche now, You're not trying to build an MVP and a founder is saying, I need this designed by today is Wednesday, right? I need this design
Today is
latest by
Thursday.
Thursday rather. Sorry about it. I
Yeah.
need this design by next week. The first thing I'll think about is what exactly are we doing? Can we actually do this in next week?
Can we achieve it?
Exactly, yes, for you know, because sometimes you need to speed up your design process because another person that is trying
Mm-hmm.
to do will, if you work for a Nigerian company, they will push you. I'm just telling you the truth. They will not give you time for all of this research, information architecture.
Mm-hmm.
They
The
will not give you the
processes
time.
that are involved,
The only thing an average Nigerian founder wants to see is your UI.
the results.
Looking as if an average UI designer in Nigeria doesn't even do all of these things. But I always say
Mm-hmm.
that do it no matter how small. Send out things, see how it goes. And another thing is you need to communicate. Let the founder know that you can design in two ways. That you design something that people may not end up using, or design something that will be worthwhile. But you should not let it sound as if you are using months or so many weeks to
It's
design
taking a
it.
long time to design.
That
Yeah.
so you must need to learn how to you must need to learn speed. Yes, learn speed. It's very crucial. Learn speed. But even in the process of speed, do not skip the process because
Mm.
if you are an average founder, clients will remember you for is how well
Yeah.
product is doing, not how well it's been designed. I tell people that
Mm-hmm.
if I design anything today, this is like let me check the time. This is 6 to 6. I can still design a full landing page before 7 p.m. personally. I only need
Wow.
dribble and one or two AI. I'm telling you, if I can do before 6:30, I'm just telling you the
Wow.
truth. There's people like okay, I have other tokens I already built or design systems, copy and paste and just do things up. But the major problem with stuff like that is can I actually stand the test of time? With user can we try can it
Mm.
actually drive
True.
user retention?
True. True.
These things are what you
Yeah.
should try to communicate because it's not just about designing. There's a reason why you are designing. It's for more sales, more customers. When your design
Mm-hmm.
is not
Mm-hmm.
giving users, what's the essence? It's just
What's
useless.
there exactly? Exactly.
Why are you now
Mm-hmm.
rushing? It's just like you
Yeah.
trying to replace and at the end of the day, they are telling you that probably they are sharing rights somewhere now. You now went to order, I know it's impossible, but just because you went to order private jets, you now get it, they now tell you that no, you are they expect that you get here in 5 minutes. You have to go back and now say, okay, let me just order Uber once and for all, let me trek. It is not worth it now. Just do the normal thing you are supposed to do to get the results you are supposed to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because the
Mm-hmm.
retention, we should be able to use that product, come back to use it, and refer it to others.
Mm.
So for anyone trying to go from junior to mid-level, please, your UX part, like I'll be mentioning, is very important. I would definitely
Yeah.
check somebody who has what's it called, clear UX process. So somebody who just have good interface, definitely, because much more than interface, people will need to use that product. The experience is very important. How does
Very
user feel
important.
with your product? Do they want to do more and whatnot? Then from mid-level to senior, maybe I should say that's where I am at the national level now. And another thing you may
Yeah.
need to do more is build an audience. Yes, show up online, have a community of people and do the work. What I mean by do the work is see what other senior are doing, then try
Mm-hmm.
do it. Because one thing
Mm-hmm.
I let us realize is the fact that there is nowhere you are going to that somebody is not there already. There
Sure.
is no
Sure. That's
exactly. So
true.
how you can easily get there is by doing what that person is currently doing. I've seen people who left from junior to senior design role, no mid level. I'm telling you for free.
Wow.
I'm telling you for free. Not just at
Wow.
local level, national level. Why? Because the guy was putting in what an average senior was doing, even when he was posting online.
Mm-hmm.
He was not posting as a junior, he was posting as somebody who is authoritative in that field,
Wow.
in the design. It's a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we act together, of course. But I'll not mention the name now because some people will go to my LinkedIn profile, check my contacts, try to
I'm
that's
still
on the
going to
lighter.
mention your LinkedIn handle at the end of the session.
It's okay, but I'm just trying to say that's how it works. So see what others are doing. If you are trying to transition from junior to mid level, you can also check an average mid level. How is the person showing up online? Not
Mm-hmm.
just any how mid level, somebody who has been mid level and has been doing something to it. And do not limit yourself to local designers. Yes, there are so many international designers in Nigeria. I mean, there are so many people working remotely for international companies and whatnot. So that's what I feel you can literally do. Then there's also VP of design, design managers, and all of those stuffs. But I know you only mentioned of junior, mid-level, and senior. But the
Yeah.
ladder is yes, yes. The
There is
ladder
there
is
is more. There is more.
anything you are inspiring to become. Look at people that are already there.
In
They
that
do what they are
space
doing
and
currently.
emulate them. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That will go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think one key thing that I took out from what you said is regardless of how much you are trying to speed, do not skip the process. I
Yes.
took that. I took that. So the process, the experience part is very, very, very necessary. It's very, very necessary. So I mean, let's wrap up with the future of UI UX. Right. So where do you see UI UX field going in the next 3 to 5 years? And how can
Okay.
upcoming UI UX designers prepare themselves for these changes that are about to like take place in the next 3 to 5 years? Yeah.
Okay, let me just say this that the way design is going, for instance, I was telling somebody over the week, I said in the last 3 5 years, 3 to 5 years, prior to this time, when you apply for a design role, you can be sure that to an extent I will get to look like yeah. But presently, with the number of people that are on UI design track, or let me say design ecosystem, there are so many people more better than you when it comes to interface design. In fact, when you go to countries like Indians, when you check, sorry, don't not go to when you check the kind of designers that is coming from places like that, because their work rate is not compared to I will not believe Nigeria is lazy compared to these guys. These guys
Mm-hmm.
can work for long hours. I used to feel like they have extra life personally because if you ever work with any Indian or German, you know that these guys don't work like typical Nigerians. But I'm just saying that it's not just about them knowing how to design on Figma. It's going beyond that now. In fact, it's
Mm-hmm.
already going beyond that. So what an average person is trying, or what an average person is trying to become better at is trying to see how I can implement AI to make my design more better and more faster. All right, that's one. Then number two, if I want to start out as a designer today, with the kind of experience I have, what I would do easily is try as much as possible to understand the fundamentals and the
Mm-hmm.
business part. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
very important. Then maybe when we now talk of design field now we can now start talking about niche. Trying to say, okay, I'm a SaaS, software as a solution, I'm a fintech designer. Yes, it can help you to when you position yourself to be this. When it comes to the general future of design, design is in fact the way it is now. Okay, recently I was reading something about all of these AR, VR in product design. So this is already looking at the future of design already. But I always say
Mm-hmm.
that instead of it's not about being concerned about the future to understand, but instead of being dominated by in the next 3 years, start doing something now. See, I just believe that life is like line upon line, precept upon precept. Yes, the more you,
Mm-hmm.
more you so instead of focusing on the next 3 years, what do I want to be doing? It's okay to set goals, but
Mm-hmm.
start where you are. Do what you can do. Then your mentor will because there were projections. That's why I don't want to really give a particular projection. There were projections prior to this time, but today is AI. I'm just saying when it comes to design field. Today is AI. Tomorrow you don't know what it might actually be, but you can do what you are doing today. Before you know what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
see what's happening tomorrow, and you can easily key into it
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
become relevant.
You can catch up
Because
with it.
that is
Yeah.
relevant. It's not everybody that will remain relevant in his or her career. Let me just use that word. It's not everybody that will
True.
remain
True.
relevant because how you remain relevant is because
Relevant.
you keep adding value. You keep getting better. And
Mm-hmm.
please, let me just say this that do not let that day comes when you are not learning anything. Don't let that day come when you just feel like I'm ready for
Don't
college
be
to just
caught unaware.
that
Yeah.
$1,000 it's just one mail. It's just one mail, like one mail. So it's just
Yeah.
as if you're starting from square one. So please avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
Keep learning, learn, do more courses, follow design influencers. I mean, at international level
Mm-hmm.
this time, and at local level too. Yes, I follow some local guys. I mean, Nigerian guys. That's what I mean by local level. But follow those guys. In fact, I was seeing a post from one of the top guys at Figma, like one of their employees. I think few was it last week or last 2 weeks? I was like, wow, okay. Because that's how you learn. You cannot just say because you're already
Mm-hmm.
making money, you don't really need these people and show up online to help you. I'm just trying to do it these days, not
Yeah.
easy, but you know. So that's what I can say. Oh. So
Yeah.
stay relevant by continuous learning. Thank you.
Mm. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayomide. What an insightful session. What an insightful session. And of course, I believe that our community members have also learned a lot. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. And to everyone who tuned in, thank you for joining. I mean, your engagement, your curiosity. People were sending in questions to me. I mean, all these things make the sessions worthwhile. And before we wrap up, so if you would like to follow him on his LinkedIn, I know he didn't send me this one, but I'm going to do it. Please kindly go to LinkedIn and search for Ayomide Ikomola. So you would see his, I mean, if you even go to Beyond Class page, the post we had about this session, you would see that we tagged him or we mentioned him. So just click on his name and it will take you to his bio. Please kindly follow him, right? Yeah, he's a very
Not
very
just
good.
please let them connect because I know most how you can connect is when you get to LinkedIn, you will not be able to connect. It's not until you click on there's a three dots like option. Click on it to
Yeah,
connect. Yes, please. So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not looking for followers. I'm looking for people that we can grow together, please. Thank you.
Yeah. So please connect so that you can also get notification when he posts, when he share insights about his journey and all of that, so that you can also learn as a beginner, right? Yeah, he's someone you can learn so much from, right? I've known him way back from my university days. It was my guy, was my senior. Yeah, back days in university. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's all. Thank you very much. And to our community members, to our audience, if you found today's session valuable, please don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow us across all of our social media pages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Beyond Class, right? And until next time, keep designing, keep learning, keep creating experiences that people will love. And until next time, see you. Bye bye. Thank you very much, Mr.
All
Ayomide.
right. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.